One more thing before we go tonight. Let's call it a trip down memory lane. Here's the email that Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort received 11 days after the 2016 election from a Chicago banker. Subject, quote, Stephen M. Kalk, candidate for Sec Army. The attachment says, quote, prospective roles in the Trump administration in rank order. Yes, that is roles, as in job functions and not the things into which I put my chicken salad. He goes on to list them, quote, 1, Secretary of the Army, 2, Deputy Secretary of Treasury, 3, Secretary of Commerce. That email about Stephen Kalk, by the way, was from Stephen Kalk, this guy, the former CEO of a Midwestern bank called the Federal Savings Bank. And that was not any ordinary pitch email from someone trying to curry favor with the incoming administration. It was, in fact, a bribe. You see, in July of 2016, Paul Manafort, who was at the time Trump's campaign manager, came to Stephen Kalk's bank seeking a multi-million-dollar loan. The one glaring problem was that Manafort had a lot of red flags on his financials. He was deep in debt, he had multiple properties facing foreclosure, and he needed the money, and he needed it fast. So he struck a deal with Kalk. Kalk ignored the red flags on Manafort's financials and ended up securing Manafort 2 loans totaling a whopping $16 million. Days after approving the first loan for Manafort, Kalk was appointed to the Trump campaign's Economic Advisory Council. When Manafort needed that multi-million-dollar second loan, this time Kalk approved it and shortly thereafter sent Manafort a list of administration jobs that he wanted. Manafort did end up getting Kalk an interview in Trump Tower for Undersecretary of the Army, but Kalk never got the job. He did eventually get indicted for that scheme by federal prosecutors in New York City. He was convicted in July of financial institution bribery and conspiracy, and yesterday, nearly 6 years after the start of that bribery scheme, Kalk was finally sentenced. The Department of Justice aptly puts the news in its headline announcing the news, quote, bank CEO Stephen M. Kalk sentenced to 1 year and 1 day for corruptly soliciting a presidential administration position in exchange for approving $16 million in loans. In addition to spending 366 days in prison, Kalk must pay over $1.2 million in fines, complete 800 hours of community service, and undergo 2 years of supervised release. As for Manafort, he too was convicted of multiple felonies and other schemes, including bank fraud and filing false tax returns, but he is free, of course, because Donald Trump pardoned him right before he left office. Nice work if you can get it.